Wait a second. Is that an OSL? Yes, Johnny. This is the... Okay. This is Nuke. I'm back for yet another OSL. One of many I've done. This is the 2012 Angel Soft Toilet Paper OSL. Fantastic sponsor. Back for another season. And this is the beginning of the round of 24. We've still got the dual tournament format that the OSL stole from the MSL a season back. Yes, they stole the format from the MSL and then they killed the MSL. That can't be proven, but dust for Prince, you know I'm right. They're the killer. Anyway, this is the first group. We're going to start it off with Flash versus Alone, and then Grape versus Calm. Then we're going to have a winner's match, a loser's match, and a final match to determine the two players who move out of the group. But here we go. Except, down at, whoa, graphics guys, thank you. Down at the 8 o'clock position in white is Flash. And up at the 10 o'clock position in something is Alone. So alone. All by myself. No. So anyway, Alone is a player who moved through the OSL preliminaries. He won his group in the OSL prelims, and that's why he has his spot. Conversely, Flash has his spot because he was already seeded. He was in the round of 16 of the Gen Era OSL last season, meaning he automatically gets seeded into the round of 24. All 12 of the guys who weren't semifinalists are going to be seeded as well. But the semifinalists, Sue, Jangbi, Fantasy, and Hydra, those four are already seeded into the round of 16. They don't have anything to worry about. They don't have to worry about this part of the tournament at all. They have a nice cushy tournament from now on. But Flash does have to worry about this because he lost to the eventual winner of the OSL last season, Jangbi. He lost in the round of 8, meaning he has to go through this whole rigmarole all over again. But hey, at least he didn't have to start from the OSL prelims. In fact, Flash has not played the OSL prelims since he started the OSL. I forget which year that was, but yeah, he's only played the OSL prelims once. He has stayed in the tournament since he started and never had to do the prelims again. And I think that's hilarious. Just his incredible dominance since the beginning of his career is just great. But okay. Flash is going to scout the very last direction, and Alone, on the other hand, is scouting down with his Overlord in the perfect position. I'm so glad that Alone changed his name from Princess to Alone. Yeah, if I had to call him Princess this entire commentary, I don't see how I could keep a straight face. So thank you, Princess. Or Alone, whatever. So Flash is sending out another scout. Let's make sure he gets in as soon as possible. Running up with a second SCV, and he's finally going to scout Alone at the 10 o'clock position. Alone is putting down his second base, and Flash is going to scout that with his SCV. Now Flash is building his barracks on the high ground instead of going for any crazy 14cc nonsense. But he is going to come in with his SCV and see what's happening. Alone is a player who doesn't have a lot of televised games, but I think he's been around since 2010, so he's not a veteran player, but he's been around the block, so to speak. Let's see how many cliches we can throw in. He's been around the block. Yeah. Bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. Okay. So there's the lair coming up, and I don't see the third hatchery anywhere for Alone. No third hatchery, so this might end up being 2-hatch Muta or something like that. So Flash is definitely going to try to stay in with that SCV and scout the next building that comes up. It's either going to be 2-hatch Muta or 2-hatch Lurker. Either way, it's going to be nuts, so Flash has to stay in and scout it. Zerg is going to try to run around and keep that scout out as long as possible. Alone doesn't really have enough versus Terran games to get a full grasp of how good his versus Terran is. He has played one televised game against Light, and he lost against Light, but still, it's only one game. Doesn't give you much info as far as how good of a player he is. But it seems the Flash is walling off inside of his natural expansion, or at least doing a semi-wall off. A lot of Terran players will throw down supply depot and then another building, either another supply depot or a bunker. Oh, the scout goes down for Flash. That's not good. Not going to be able to see the next building. Nice close-up of Alone's face. So lonely. There's a Spire coming down for Alone, so this will be 2-hatch Muta. Very aggressive opening. and since he's right next to Flash's natural expansion, it'll probably give him a lot of harassment early if Flash can't get up those turrets. Okay, Flash, he did build the bunker to kind of get a semi-wall in, keep out the Zergling run-bys, but here comes the Zergling run-by anyway from Alone. Might try to get inside the main, but yeah, it looks like Flash is prepared. He has some SCVs to block for those Marines, so Alone is going for the natural expansion SCVs. Takes out one, gets one SCV, a little bit of harassment from those Zerglings, but Flash is amassing Marines. He should be able to handle this eventually because I don't see any reinforcements coming in from Alone. No reinforcements, and Flash has already destroyed half of this Zergling troop, so yeah, Alone is making a strategic retreat. Getting out of there with those Zerglings. The intense Terminator focus from Flash. Engineering Bay coming up after the Academy. So Flash's timings are legendary, as you well know. Hopefully his turrets will be in time though, because the Spire just ready to come up. Going to have 6 mutas on the way, and Flash needs turrets as quickly as possible. I'm sure that Flash will have scan prepared soon. He was in to see the lair coming down with no third hatchery, so he's got to be prepared. He's got to be mentally prepared at least for this kind of strategy. There's the engineering bay already up. He's going to be working on the +1 soon, I'm sure. 2 turrets at the natural expansion. Flash is going to be prepared for this barely, I think. Building those barely in time. But Flash's timings, he knows the timings so well of all the races, and that's really why Flash has been so much of a success. That's why he's so good. He doesn't have the best multitasking or the best APM or anything like that. It's just freaking game sense. That's what it comes down to. But 2 turrets are already prepared at that natural expansion. 3rd being built by Flash. Let's see how many SCVs that Alone can snipe. He is in the perfect position to snipe them with that high ground area behind the natural expansion like this. It kind of shuts down the Terran's options because the Terran won't be able to defend with Medic and Marines very well because the ledge is there. The mutas can just stay on the ledge, keep sniping those Medic and Marines. It's just not very ideal to defend with Bio. And that's why Flash has built these 3 turrets at the natural expansion to keep away the mutas. But so far, Alone has managed to kill quite a few SCVs at this natural expansion, still killing SCVs, getting a lot of harassment done at that natural, and I think I saw a 4th turret coming up for Flash. He's devoting basically everything, all of his turrets to that natural expansion. I don't think he had many turrets inside of his main. I saw a couple earlier, I think. Yeah, a couple next to the barracks. Yeah, and a couple right next to this command center as well, so he has committed an awful lot of minerals to the turrets. But that's Flash for you. There's some more sniping of the SCVs from Alone, but Alone is getting boxed in right next to the turrets and the bunker at the front. He's lost a handful of mutas, I think. I've seen a few blood splatters in that muta pack. But he hasn't been able to completely destroy Flash's economy, which is what I think he wanted to do by opening with 2 hatch muta like that. Okay, Flash building 3rd. He's just building turrets all over the place. And I think you all remember the Flash's games versus Zerg a couple years ago when he would just build, I think it was 200 turrets in that one game. It's either 100, 200, some ridiculous number against 0, I believe the Zerg opponent was, but he loves his turrets. So there's 3 right next to the command center. That'll keep those mutas at bay. Muta manages to snipe one of the SCVs that was building a supply depot just to put Flash a little bit further behind, I think. Factory on the way for Flash, and Flash is starting to move out a bit. He's waiting for a few more reinforcements before he fully commits to this. But he's already out into the middle of the map, ready to push out and push his luck and take down a 3rd base. The 3rd base, a Queen's Nest already coming up for Alone. He has that 3rd base ready to go, and I saw the Hydralisk him, which will give him lurkers at the high ground. But he's got to get those lurkers over fast because Flash is getting ready to move out. Yeah, he's kind of testing the waters, looking for troops he can destroy. Zerglings specifically, I think he's just trying to hunt down those Zerglings, making sure that Alone can't do a big pincer attack or anything like that. But Hydras are not morphed into lurkers yet at that natural expansion. I saw 3 of them, and not yet in the eggs. So Flash is already moving up to the natural expansion. He's moving up to this position. A couple of sunken colonies are being built. I think one sunken and the other creep colony hadn't yet been morphed. But here comes Flash. He's already positioning himself right outside of this natural. And he's going to scan and see what his odds are of surviving a big attack. But so far, Alone is doing a good job at least of just delaying Flash, keeping Flash delayed. And there's the scan. Flash backing off, so he probably decides that, yeah, I can't really tackle this with what I have. With the Lurkers and the Mutas and the Zerglings, it's just a bit too much. So I'll pick my battles in the middle and wait for a few more reinforcements before I push that natural expansion. But the reinforcement troops holding their own for now. Reinforcements being grinded down by Alone. That was a good attack, actually.